Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Is it good? Yeah. However, I have never played a more buggy game in my life, and this is despite playing the game 2 years after its release. 20 hours into Valhalla and I was ready to give up on the franchise for good. It was so repetitive and boring. This is how it went. Meet new people, make friends, help those friends seize a castle or fort, and repeat over and over again. While after 20 hours the structure did not change, what did change was that characters you had met previously returned. So I was invested. I knew who I liked, I knew who I didn't like, and the story was great, especially with all the twists and turns and betrayals. Now I hear you. How boring can seizing the castle be? But for me, very. You're always seizing the castle with what feels like 8 people at most and fighting against maybe 20 people. Oh, and the audio was terrible. Sounds like 1,000 men coming out in mono. Have a listen. You will level up a lot in Valhalla, with lots of attributes to spend on stats and even combat moves. However, I never felt like I was getting stronger throughout my playthrough, because the enemies just level scale, so the higher level I got, they just brought themselves up to my level. But it's not reversed. If I go into a high level area, they don't come down to my level, so it's never satisfying to go into a low level area because it always just feels the same. However, there was one level, no spoilers, that makes you feel very powerful, and this is exactly how I wanted to feel when I go back into low areas. One hit would devastate opponents. The graphics in Valhalla are gorgeous, especially considering this game came out at the start of the console's lifecycle and came out on the previous generation consoles. However, I found myself getting distracted a lot by the compass, which is filled with little dots and colours, saying, oh, over here, look, there's quests, oh, over here, look, there's loot. And I was constantly just looking at the compass, where am I going, what's next? And I was failing to look around and see the beautiful scenery. Like in this clip right now, I am like looking left and right, oh, where's the next viewpoint? Rather than saying, look at this landscape, it is a gorgeous game. Now I want to talk about the dialogue options in Valhalla. Now, the dialogue options are very similar to the Telltale games in that I feel all those games, you have an illusion of choice. It is, do you want to save this person or do you want them to die? And if you decide, oh, I want to save this person, then later on, they are definitely going to die. And sometimes in this game, they will die straight away. Like, I will save you. And then the next second they're like, yeah, but he betrayed us, chop his head off. And it's like, oh, okay. Thanks for letting me choose, that was great. And while I'm talking about dialogue, could Ubisoft not hire more than 5 voice actors? I find it very distracting, especially because the actors wouldn't even try to sound different. I mean, like, I know exactly who you are, you're voicing all these different people. Lastly, people might say that this is not an AC game because it's not stealthy. I never had any issue with the lack of stealth because the combat was so much fun. Especially when you unlock abilities, like flying in the air and dropping down my axe, that was just great. That said, if you do want to stealth, you can. Most of the game, bar the castle sieges, you can stealth them. And that's truly up to you. If you want this to be an Assassin's Creed game, quotation marks, then it can be. That was Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I give it a 6 out of 10.